Hello, you with us? Me and the blowtorch. We're going to look at revealing the spot welds that hold the tub on. There's not a lot holding this tub on except that outer, the inner lip. So I'm going to see how many spot welds are on there. Have a little look at it. This is where we'll need the spot weld drill bit because I don't want to damage the floor edge behind it. So I'll be revealing these spot welds, taking it off, then I'm going to measure positions on this, and then I'm thinking of putting the tub on now while I've got the chance, while I can get to it and work on it. I know I risk losing some dimensions, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to make some measurements before this comes off, measurements all over the place, probably put them on camera and record them on voice camera, you know, just dictate the measurements and write them down as well, and just hope that when I get the new wheel tub on that it doesn't throw the car out. It's a risk I'm taking. Here we go. Those fumes! Oh, the fumes! I'll take you in and have a look. Well, you actually can see it quite well from there, can't you? I think you see the spot welds clearly defined there because they've survived underneath the underseal. By drilling those out now with a spot weld, we'll reveal the condition of the inner lip, and we'll see if there's any work that needs to be done on that, because obviously easier to do the inner lip and stuff with the power stuff out of the way. So I think really it's got to be the one. The tub's just got to come off. I mean, that's how I feel. Earlier in the videos I was talking about landing the tub on top and then removing it out. I don't know. Is that the best way? I don't know. Maybe we should take the tub off, look at the inner lip, then tack the tub back on in the exact same place, because it'll have all the alignment holes. So that's another option. Take it off, look at the condition of the floor edge if it needs repairing, put it back on with a couple of tacks, and then just use that as the reference point for when we drop the roof on, the height reference. That's one other option we could do. I'm kind of like thinking though that when you put the roof on, the pillar there, that it's going to set the height, because you'll have the front A post and the B post locked on, virtually nowhere to go, and that's just going to leave the back end, you know, you'll have to tension it or not, depending. So it's going to try and guide itself, I would have thought. So but down to, this is, you know, where it all comes down to in terms of getting your wing quarter lined up. We're running low on battery now, so I might go and swap the batteries, take these off, and that'll be that work for tonight. Wheel tub off and parcel shelf out. So we'll leave it at that. So I'm going to start drilling now. I won't film the drilling, as you know, we're keeping it condensed. Okay, over and out for now. Okay, spot weld thing's going pretty good. I'll start again. The spot weld thing's going pretty good. They've popped off. There's a couple that have missed, so I've just re-drilled them. Well, this might help people changing their wheel tubs. If it's all smashed and corroded here, you've nothing to remove. If you're doing new sills and a rebuild, you might have fresh metal up this end and nothing attached like here. So all you've got, well, all I've got on this one, and perhaps anyone else with bad corrosion there, would be the attachment along that lip. So that's just coming off nicely there. I'm putting a little chisel just down here and just tapping it, and that just flexes it back, and then the welds are just popping nicely as we go along. So that's just going to come off quite neatly. What I've decided I could do is, this strip that comes off the wheel tub, I could angle grind it off later, or I could do it now in situ, but I'm going to take this off, then grind that, cut that off the actual wheel tub, so you're left with a strip. You could then use that strip to drill the holes in your new wheel tub, and then you could match them with the pinpoint holes I've made with the spot weld drill bit into the floor edge, so you've got sort of an alignment system. That could work as well. Anyway, before I actually release the wheel tub, I'll be taking the measurements, but I'm just going to get the majority of the welds off ready. and then I'll take the measurements. So that's how we're doing this, coming off quite nice. Okay, I've loosened all the welds off. One more to go and then the tub can come off. Just that last spot weld here and then that's it. It's gone, it should go. That's it. We're out. You've just seen it first here. A wheel tub extraction. You saw it first on PN0922K channel. Out goes the tub. We can now go and get the new tub and line it up, and then we can inspect this edge here and see if it needs clean-ups. From the first inspection, it's looking clean. Do you want to come have a look to see? Whoops, camera's out of control. We're all getting excited. Let's get you in before the battery goes. There's your edge there. So yeah, it's still there, nothing's crumbled away, so we'll clean that up, and we've got a good edge to use. This, like I said, this floor here, it's about the only really solid part of the car. We've not had to do any work to. That panel that goes across your back axle, the whole panel, that whole strip, is probably the only piece of metal on the car I've seen that hasn't got substantial rust holes or rot. Everything else seemed to have been attacked. Well, the floor pan wasn't too bad, you know, but this was probably the best piece. Everything else was absolutely smashed to pieces. But that's what I'm saying. I worked from the floor pan out on this resto and used, as we said, lots of the parts have been resalvaged, reused, and whilst it looks bad on these videos, now as we progress through the video. Alright, here we are. Wheel tub, new wheel tub in, the new old stock tub. Locked it in place, and we're just looking at the gaps now and just working out how far up to go. It looks like it might have to go down a little touch, but my roof measurement's exactly right. My measurement across from tub to tub using that point there is different by about 10 mil, so I'm not sure what's the difference between the two tubs, if any. So, but the tub itself, it's okay. Yeah, it's going to go in all right. All right, we're here. It's 1st of March. Mad March here. What you got? All right. So we left you last night with a headache and no parcel shelf. Look at this for the worst boot. Welcome to the worst boot in the world. You've seen the worst hotel in the world, the worst toilet in the world, the worst this in the world. It's the worst boot floor in the world. Alright, so there's a tub in there. As you can see, we've been playing around with that, lining it up and such like. Fits in very well to the sill there, all looking okay to me. I'm going to put a very exciting time, I'm going to put the chrome wheel arch trim on it and just see how it sits, because this is your actual wheel arch, so that would work there. The chrome wheel arch follows round. Let's make sure that that's in line. I'm going to scrape off this under seal here, and I'm going to take out some spot welds on the chassis leg, the fork, because when the parcel shelves off, it's given us the ideal opportunity to get to those and drop those chassis legs off. We're going to take the axle off, replace the chassis section so that the fork comes out the back there. And that gives us, then we'll take the boot off, and then so we'll have two chassis forks sticking out the back, which is what we'll let the boot rest onto, so we can then fix the boot. The new boot panel can go back in. We'll then be looking at putting the wings back on, lining up the tubs. They'll be held on with some rivets, so if we need to move it around, we can do. Once that's in position and held in with the rivets, we'll mock the roof up. We'll get the roof, drop the roof on, make sure it fits into all its slots, do the stagger joins, clamp it in position, satisfy ourselves that that's looking all right there, maybe put some tacks on it, put the quarters on with the tacks, then fit the doors, and if everything's looking all right, drill the rivets out and put the welds in its place. That's what we're going to do. So we're riveting and welding and I'm going to get the body workshop guy down. He's going to look it over and see if there's any alignment things that need to be tweaked, bent, jigged, or whatever they have to be done before we start putting the welds together. We'll check the coach lines out, put the front wing on, check the coach lines out, and basically try and learn how to put a car back together, really. So start now with the hot air gun on the underseal, just in that area there, not the underseal, the sound deadening pad. Not much of it left to pick off, and then we'll start cleaning up this area and seeing where the welds are. Take the boot floor edge out along there, and then get that other wheel tub off as well after taking some measurements off the wheel tub. So that's what we're on with there now. I'll take some photographs and resume filming with the tripod. Alright guys, you join me under the... Hello! Welcome back. You join me under the Cortina. We're taking the axle off. Guess why? Because I want to replace the... Can you see it under there? What? There you go. I want to replace the knackered chassis fork. The axle that goes over the axle because it's totaled. Want to have a look? It's a goner. So that's what we're up against. Easier to do it while the roof is off, so we're going to do a diversion and take that off. We're going to scribe and mark the chassis position. But first, what we've got to do, these bolts are all seized up, there's no way they're going to undo. So I'm going to grind and split the bolts. I can't see that, looks like it's just rusted solid, and the nut's rounded off there. So we need to cut that off. We can easily get some new bolts. I'm not going to be using them anyway, those bolts. So let's just see what we can do. Ear mufflers on and slice the bolt in half. Might just try going at this angle, cutting it off. Let's see how that works. Tricky. The air tool wouldn't do it, but the electric grinder did. Yeah, I'd say that's a success. That's coming out. We'll get another bolt and just tap that through. That's gone. So we'll do the next one now. No problem with that one. That's your shock off. Obviously the axle's going to try and drop down on me. I'm aware of that fact. We'll have to support the axle. We'll jam that axle up. Obviously it's held on these things. Now the next point of call is this bad boy here. Let's have a look at it. You've got your shock absorber, shock absorber off. We've got a big major bolt there on the swing arm. So I could not take that out. So that's 1, 2 on that swinging arm, and then you've got those tramp bars at the top. To get the tramp bars off, so I'll keep on going and we'll resume when we're back on. Obviously you've got to do both sides and then lower the axle down. I'll put the trolley jack under it now for support, so I'll just go up and get the trolley jack. Let's just take the weight off the middle of the axle. We don't want to push the car up at all, so all I'm doing, already that's lifting the cart, so let's just get it to just dock up with it, if you will. Just in the middle of the cup there. Right, so we're on there. Okay, I'll just resume filming. Right, you're down on the deck with me. I'm glad these bricks hold up. Now this is a dangerous situation that I'm quite aware of. I'm using the angle grinder in close quarters. Any wrong moves I could be taking my face off. You've got to be real careful when you do a trick like this with a cutting disc like that, because they're so thin that they're merciless. They'll just slice you to pieces. You know, just make a big gouge. So you've got to make sure your hand's well away from the trigger until you're totally sure you know where you're going to hit. And you support the grinder with both hands, and you don't mess around in these situations. I'm going to grind off the main bolt through that's holding the axle onto the swing. I'm going to slice the head straight off the bolt, and hopefully I can punch the bolt straight through. So you might not be able to see this, but I'm going for it. I'm going to position myself just right so I'm comfortable when I hit that button that I know. Let's get the light on. You might be able to see it. See there. It's tight. It is tight. I'm not saying it's not. I wish I was on some ramps, but needs must. The car's in bits. We've got no choice. Here we go now. I've had just a little break just to see whereabouts it is. Nearly through. You still with us? I know it's not a good shot, but there she goes. It's clean off. Right, let's get that grinder away from me. I'll take you in so you can see what we're up to. Right way up. Okay, I'll punch that through now. Hope you like that word punch. There's another one to do there. Let's do that as well. So what I do, as I say, we're taking the axle off so that I can replace this with a new chassis piece. Reason I'm doing it now is because I can get to the top of it with the roof off. Very easy to drill all those welds out, roof and boot off. May as well do this bit now and get it in. Get it back on, drop the axle, get both this side done. So that's horrible jobs out of the way, because I've heard these chassis pieces here are not a nice job. So let's just get them out of the way. Okay, let's get them out of the way. Okay, an update for you. The axle is now free to move on this side. So I've undone, well, we've knocked out the bolts, they were that bad, so we've had to chop the heads. Didn't fancy trying to even bother on doing these. So we'll have to get new ones of those. Bolt specialist for that. These little plates mustn't get lost, so we'll keep those. Bolt specialist to fix that up. So you can see how bad it would have just sheared off anyway. So we'll get those off the bolt plate. We need to compress that spring, I'm presuming, and then what I can do once I get that spring off there is I'm going to have to, well, if I release the spot welds on this chassis, there's nothing holding it onto the axle anymore now. It's free to be taken away from the axle. So we can take it away from the axle and then get the other bolts off, because they can get access to those then. And then clean the trailing arms up, and then drill all the spot welds off this chassis, scribe it so we know where it fits, then put the new chassis leg on with some tacks, then assemble the axle back up, don't touch the other side, and get it all to be in exactly the same position that it was when it came off. So that's what we'll do. I'll take some measurements before I do the final. What I'll do, I'll throw the bolts back through this now and measure up from whatever positions I can find to measure from, and then make sure that when this fork goes on, this chassis fork goes on, it's in the same place. That's the plan, but that's the end for tonight, 1st of March. So it was part of the axle job there. We've got other plating to be done. We just basically want to get this out of the way first, because that's the bottom of the car, so we'll work up from that, and then we'll work our way up back to the wheel tub. So it's a diversion onto the axle whilst I've got access to it. Doing this side first, then going to the other side, and the same procedure will be done that side, so that you've got a good solid base then for the axle. We've done the floor that way, making a good solid floor, so we'll carry on pushing with the floor backwards, building it from the floor up, you see. Okay, that's it for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night. We won't. I'm out tomorrow night. It's Friday night. We're out Saturday night. May see you Saturday daytime, Sunday daytime, possibly a bit Sunday evening. Okay, that's it for now. Over and out. You've joined us on Saturday, March 3rd, 2012. I think it's the 2nd of the 3rd. We are going to cut the back of the boot off, get it out of the way if it's not needed anymore. Then we're going to drop down the... We've already loosened the axle up now, so the axle's moving. We're going to take this chassis off. We're going to move the bricks further up on the car and remove this chassis piece and replace it, so that that job's done and it's out of the way. Then I'll have to do the same on the other side. So that's the jobs for Saturday. First, to cut the boot tub off, get it out of the way so we can get access. Off we go, boot tub off. Okay, so let's have a look what we're doing. So you can see that chassis leg now. It's exposed. Have a look. We're going to unpick them welds, prop it up further up there. So prop that up, then we can. That chassis leg will come off. I'll get the measurements and I'm going to put the other chassis leg on straight away. We're not messing around. That'll give us start to rebuild that back end now, and I can drop the floor on it as well. Get the boot floor back in at the back, and then put the wheel tub section back on, so we start to spread the rebuild back up that end. So that's the plan. Alright, clean up. As you can see, there's your spots. So drill all those out and drop the chassis leg off, and then offer up the new one, then get the alignments on the axle. I've taken the measurements now. Here's my tape measure down here. I've gone from the axle bolt hole, which is in here. You can't see, it's just in there, there it is. Across to one of the chassis markers up there, so I know my distances. I've got, I think it's 52. Yeah, 52, and it's 40, 42 and a half. See the measurements there. So I'll drill straight through these now. I believe it's quite a difficult thing to take off this, so let's have a go. Let's see how difficult they really are. Probably a lot easier for me, obviously, because I've got half the car missing. It's the right time to do it. Let's get the proper chassis leg in position. Alright, we're back a couple of hours later after the last tape on. Now all these spot welds have been drilled out. There's a few hidden ones there as usual, so you have to just keep tapping away and finding them. I cut into the chassis leg a little bit. I sliced it in half and did it in two sections. There's one section over there that came off first with the shock absorber on. I cut that half. I opened it up. Some were just proving a little bit tricky, so we're now in. Chassis legs full of nuts, as we expected, shot to pieces. Just I think one spot weld holding her on now. So you can see how we've got that off all the way up there like that. So that's where we're at with that. I've been cleaning up this edge as well, ready for the boot floor fits on there. Okay, so I'll just give you a guided tour, see where we're up to. Don't know how many spot welds there are. I don't know if we should count all them. There's a lot. Some took a couple of double drills. There's a tricky area just around there where I lost a few and had to sort of hunt them out, but the weld will fix that, no problem with that. Underneath now then, I've moved the chocks further up. We'll re-level the car later on. We're just going to give this a final bit of a jiggy, bit of jiggery pokery, and we'll get that off now. So we'll set you up on the tripod. Right, you ready? Should we get it off then? Back around. You join me now. Getting ready to get this monster chassis off. I have to fight with it. It's like an alligator. Come on, that's it. You saw it here. You saw the bad boy. You saw the bad boy pop. Look at this. There you go. There you go. What do you think of that? Do you like it? Rotten as a... So we chop that off. We'll discard that, but we need the arms, and so we'll put new springs on the car, may as well. I don't know. Whoa. So that goes over there. Now that leaves us an area to clean up. Let's see. Come on in if you want. What we got? Okay, so for that condition of this now, let's have a look. And no problem with any rust there. So a quick wire brush on that, some rust killer on it, and you can actually see some clean metal, no rot. So I'm happy about, and you can see where we'll connect the chassis to the front, and if you look over here, you've seen that what's arrived. Look what's arrived, the new chassis piece. There you go. So we can, just bear with me while you join the action live. Oh, let's see. Right. So, with something like this. What do you say? The outrigger's there. Oh, you extend your chassis leg. So let's have a look at that. Get some still shots now, and we'll resume filming in a minute. Just wanted to show you that coming off. Just thought I'd give you a bit of a tour around. Do it.